So looking at a general overview of the digestive system, food can be grouped into three main categories: carbohydrates such as bread, proteins such as meat, and lipids such as oil. These foods are ingested by the human. The food will be digested by the digestive system and then absorbed into the bloodstream, where it will be then delivered to body tissues as energy or for storage. Finally, waste is excreted. Another fundamental point to take in is that the digestive tract all share three similar anatomical properties. Here I am drawing a diagrammatical cross-section representation of the digestive tract. The digestive tract have three main layers. The lumen is the inside space of the digestive tract. The first layer is mucus, and we find it around the lumen. Mucus lubricates the food and also protects the lining of the digestive tract. Then you have the epithelial cells, the lining of the digestive tract, that forms the tract itself. Some of these cells are what produce and secrete mucus. The third layer is the smooth muscle layer, the outer layer, which is important in contraction. Through contraction, the smooth muscle allows the food to move through the digestive tract after being ingested. Now that we have a better feel for the digestive system, let us look at each of the organs of the digestive system and what they do in relation to foods being consumed. So food enters the oral cavity. The process called mastication occurs, which is essentially chewing. Food will be broken down mechanically by the mouth, teeth playing a key role. The tongue plays a role in tasting the food as well as mixing the food around, while the salivary glands within the oral cavity secrete saliva, which lubricates the food. There are three salivary glands: the sublingual, meaning below the tongue, parotid, and submandibular, which means below the mandible. The salivary glands also secrete an enzyme called amylase, which will initiate carbohydrate digestion. Once the food leaves the oral cavity in a partially digested form, it is swallowed, a term called degglutination. The food is actually now referred to as a bolus. The bolus, which means bowl in Latin, is a mass of food that has been chewed up. The bolus will travel through the esophagus thanks to peristalsis. Now, peristalsis is the involuntary contraction of the smooth muscles that line the digestive tract. Peristalsis allows the movement of food through the digestive tract, essentially. And so the bolus will eventually enter the stomach. The stomach will temporarily store and churn the bolus. The stomach is able to churn the bolus because it has three layers of muscle. The stomach cells also secrete chemicals and enzymes such as hydrochloric acid that helps break down the food, kill bacteria, and stimulate enzyme secretions. The stomach cells also secrete mucus that helps protect the lining of the stomach, as well as pepsin that begins protein digestion. The vigorous contraction of stomach muscles and the stomach secretions results in the liquefaction of the food, which is then slowly released into the small intestine. The pylorus sphincter is the barrier between the stomach and the small intestine. During digestion, the pylorus sphincter opens in phases, allowing the liquefied food, now referred to as chyme, to enter the small intestine. Now, chyme is the term used to describe a semi-fluid mass of partially digested food. So essentially, before the stomach, the food was referred to as bolus. After the stomach, it is chyme. The small intestine runs from the pylorus to the ileocecal valve, where it joins to the large intestine. The small intestine is divided into three segments: the duodenum, the jejunum, and ileum. The ileum connects to the start of the large intestine here. The small intestine is very important because it is where most of the digestion and absorption of food takes place. However, it cannot do this without the help of the accessory organs: the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. So let us learn a bit more about these accessory organs and learn about their role in digestion. So here we are zooming into the liver and the gallbladder. The liver produces bile, which has a critical role in lipid digestion. The gallbladder stores the bile.